Parameswaran, please elaborate on the steps that you've taken to curb pesky SMS and calls which has been worrying millions of consumers in India.
You said it rightly. That is, pesky SMSs have become a nuisance to the persons who doesn't want to receive it. In fact, telemarketing per se is not a wrong activity. But when the telemarketing is done, if the SMSs are sent to the persons who do not want to receive it, that is wrong. There is a register in which the customers register for not receiving the pesky calls or SMSs. Now, a number of steps has been taken by the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, after which we found that the pesky SMSs from the unregistered telemarketers have become a major nuisance. To put a control on this pesky SMSs from the unregistered telemarketer, few steps have been taken. Yesterday, an order that was issued. In fact, the unregistered telemarketers take advantage of the discounted SMS packs that are offered by the telecom service providers. These packs offer SMSs at a very cheap rate. This is used by the unregistered telemarketers to bombard SMSs to the people. So, what this regulation has brought is that beyond 100 SMS, the tariff for these SMSs will be at least 50 paise per SMS. So, this is basically intended to disincentivize the unregistered telemarketer so that he becomes a registered telemarketer and follow the rules of the game. That is, he sends SMSs to only those people who don't mind receiving, not to the people who doesn't want it. That's one step. If I can just highlight the other 2 or 3 more. In fact, the telecom service providers have been asked to put in a technical solution which will ensure that not more than 200 SMSs with similar signature, that is similar string of characters, are sent in an hour. Normally, when the pesky SMSs are sent, machines are used which just sends out thousands of SMSs in seconds. So this, when it crosses 200, this is just blocked. This solution has already been proven successful in controlling the SMSs from the international locations. So the same solution has to be put for the national SMSs also. And another step that has been taken is that, a very important one, that by chance if you get a pesky SMSs, the procedure for making the complaint has been made much easier now. These are some of the steps. Of course, other than that, for consumer awareness, the service providers have been asked to send SMSs to the consumers telling them not to use their number for sending commercial SMSs.
How can people in the complaint register at your form, if you can elaborate on a detail, to stop getting these pesky SMSs?
As I was mentioning, once you get a pesky SMSs, earlier the procedure was a little cumbersome. We got the feedback from the customers that it's a bit difficult to make a complaint. So that has been very much simplified. All the customer has to do is, once a pesky SMS is received, just forward it to 1909. But before forwarding, on the message, add the telephone number from which you have received that pesky SMS and the date of receipt of the same. These 2 information you add to the message that you have received and just forward it to 1909. And 1909 is a toll-free number.
Mr. Parameswaran, what is the time in which they'll get relief from these pesky SMS after registering this complaint?
We have a complaint monitoring system in this. A portal is there. And on this, the complaints are registered and that is monitored by the TRAI on a regular basis. And they have to take action within the reasonable time, at about 7 days time. And definitely when the message is received, what actions they are taken, this is monitored by the TRAI directly on a regular basis.
And what are the penalty clause for those who are found culprits? What are the penal actions that TRAI will take on them?
The penal actions, as far as the unregistered telemarketers are concerned, after one warning, their numbers are disconnected. That is there. And now with this, that they can't send more than 100 SMSs at the concessional rate, this itself will act as a major disincentive for them to use this method. That is the intention. They were using the very cheap SMS packages offered by the service providers for this commercial activity of sending pesky SMSs. So now beyond 100, charges for the SMSs will be minimum of 50 paise. So if 1 lakh messages are sent, 50,000 rupees he has to spend.
What was the need for coming up with this new order when there was already a regulation in place by TRAI?
The pesky calls or the pesky SMSs generated from the telemarketers have been controlled to a great extent with the regulation so far in place. The telemarketer means he would have a numbers starting with 140. So the pesky SMSs or things like that coming from them are far less now, because a system has been put in place and the rules of the games are clear and the system is working to, I won't say it's 100% perfect, but then what happened was that the main problem shifted from there, from the registered telemarketer to the unregistered telemarketer. So the unregistered telemarketers, what the messages that they generate have become a menace. So these regulations are mainly intended to control that.
Mr. Parveen sir, I would like to give you an example. Suppose if someone forwards my number to the number that is established 1909, registers a complaint in my number, how would you verify that whether I have sent a commercial message to someone or not?
Absolutely. See, the service provider, before disconnecting the number or taking any action on that, has to verify the complaint, and then only the action is taken. That's why some time is taken by the service provider. It's not that just somebody sends one number to the 1909 and the next moment it is disconnected. No, the telecom service provider verifies, yes, and there will be records that who sent what SMS. These records are verifiable. It verifies that such an activity has really taken place, and then if so, then the number is disconnected. And also, there's another thing. When a complaint is made against a number, it's not that one guy will be there. There'll be more than one guy who will be making the complaint. So there are various ways to just zero in on the person. And it's not that the innocents are harassed.
You have said that the existing regulation says that if one SMS is sent, that commercial SMS, unsolicited commercial SMS, there'll be warning issued, and on the next SMS there'll be disconnection.
That's right.
But we have seen a trend where people get SMS from only one number at a time. That number is not repeated most of the time. So how do you act on those kind of numbers?
No, it may be a coincidence that the messages are coming from one number only once. They may be using a pool of numbers so that the messages come from different number to you. It might be, we have also uncovered cases where they are using a block of SIMs, a few numbers all together, and then generate this. Those cases we have taken action much more than we have called the service provider, and along with them the FIRs have been filed and actions have been taken on that also. So it is just a coincidence that particular number you have only got one. So next time it is from another number, or maybe from the same person.
How effective has been this complaint system? What is the action that TRAI has taken when it receives a complaint? Can you elaborate on that?
In fact, from the unregistered telemarketers, we have received over 130,000 complaints and notices were issued, and more than 1 lakh numbers have been disconnected.
In case of registered telemarketers, have you found any flaw in their working? Have you been monitoring them?
We have been monitoring them very closely. Now, the complaints that are coming from the customers are more from the unregistered telemarketers. So, telemarketers, there is a system is in place and it is working to a certain amount of satisfaction now. Especially the international route SMS are coming, more or less it's almost stopped. So, these are some areas where there were issues and a great deal of control has been achieved on that. And this is an area which now required our attention, and that is why these steps have been taken to control that.
Is there any existing system which people can use easily through their service providers to get relief from this pesky SMS?
All this information is available in the TRAI website and on the website of the service providers. TRAI website is trai.gov.in, and also TRAI takes up a lot of consumer awareness programs through one medium is All India Radio itself. We keep educating the customers about what are their rights and protections they have so that they are aware of it.
Thank you, Mr. Parmeswar.